What's up, guys? Rick here with your sleepers for this week's Northern Trust. That means we're going further down the player pool to see if we can find any long shots, any values, or guys that might offer opportunities in the top 5, top 10, top 20 market. Generally speaking, just guys that I believe to be undervalued. So let's jump into it. This week's Northern Trust. We're going to start with Paul Casey, who I can't even believe makes a sleeper list, but he's 50-1 to win this golf tournament, so I think it counts. And remember, he did not make his debut in the restart until the Travelers Championship. Now, he's played a lot since then, and as we know with Paul Casey, he's pretty dependent on his short game, specifically that of the putter. And the last 2 weeks, he has been not only field average, but slightly better than field average in the putting department, which has turned into a 31st place finish at the Wyndham Championship and a runner-up finish to Colin Morikawa at the PGA Championship. Then you look at what he has done at TPC Boston in his career, and the last 3 years that he's played here, he's got a 21st place finish, a 4th, and a runner-up. And then if you zoom out even more and just look at the playoffs as a whole in the last 5 years, there are only 3 golfers who average more strokes gained per round than Paul Casey. They are Justin Thomas, Jon Rahm, and Jason Day. So Casey is certainly in illustrious company. This is a course that he's played well at in the past, and his form is better than what it was when the tour originally restarted. You put all of those things together and you get Paul Casey as a 50-1 sleeper. Sungjae Im as a sleeper should be no surprise to anyone who's watched any of the other content that I have put out this week. If Sungjae Im is back to his form that we saw before the shutdown, he is the most mispriced golfer in this field and arguably one of the most mispriced golfers that we've had this season. Now, we're using the Wyndham Championship and his statistical profile and the T9 that he had last week as indication that, quote, Sungjae is back. And what I'm referring to as him being back is really the last 24 months of this kid's resume that we've seen, where he has made the gradual progression from Korn Ferry Player of the Year to PGA Tour Rookie of the Year to standout star in the President's Cup to PGA Tour winner at the Honda Classic, and then backing that up with another great finish at the Arnold Palmer Invitational right before the shutdown. And then things went south for Sungjae. When the tour returned, he wasn't the same. The iron game wasn't there. It was the worst we've seen him in his young career. But last week, that profile, that was much more reminiscent of the Sungjae Im that we know and love. And if that is what we are going to see moving forward, he probably should be 30-1, 35-1 to win this golf tournament, not the 50-1, or even some places offering him at 65-1 to win this golf tournament. So I believe Sungjae Im, if he is indeed back, is one of the best values that we have seen in quite some time. Abraham Ancer is 55-1 to win this golf tournament, and there's always a bit of recency bias when a golfer does not play the previous week. So we did not see Abraham Ancer at the Wyndham Championship. We haven't seen him since the PGA Championship, and usually that kind of leaves some guys forgotten because he's not a big time stud. He's not a Justin Thomas. He's not a Jon Rahm. However, he is a big-time player, meaning he shows up in some of the deepest field and best events around. We've talked a lot on this channel about his performances at WGC events. I mean, HSBC, he finished 4th. In Mexico, his home country, finished 12th. At FedEx St. Jude, he finished 15th. He puts it together no matter what the field is, no matter what the competition is, no matter if the course is a good or a bad fit for him. He puts it together. I love a competitor like that, and in his only attempt at playing TPC Boston, it was 2018. He finished 7th, which again should be no surprise when you look at a larger resume for Abraham Ancer. Can he actually win this golf tournament? Well, that's yet to be seen. I believe he's got the best world golf ranking of any golfer who does not have a worldwide victory. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure on that. So we'll see, but I think there is plenty of value in the top 10 market for Abraham Ancer or utilizing him in some fantasy situations congratulations, because I think he goes a little bit forgotten this week without having to play last week and without being one of the bigger studs, the bigger names on tour. Doc Redmond is 140 to 1 to win this golf tournament. And yeah, you knew I was going here. You knew we were going back to Doc, whose game is maturing and progressing right in front of our eyes. The results are backing it up. He continues to find himself near the top of the leaderboard with a T3 last week at the Wyndham Championship. And the way he plays, the ability he has to absolutely flush the ball is honestly not really, it's hard to comprehend how good he is compared to the rest of the field. Last week at the Wyndham Championship, he finished first in strokes gained off the tee, 14th in strokes gained approach. He gained 9 strokes in terms of ball striking, and that magic number, 9 strokes gained between off the tee and approach, is something that very few golfers have been able to do here in the restart. Doc Redmond has accomplished that number 3 times. There have only been 4 other golfers who have been able to accomplish it multiple times. That's Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, Victor Hovland, and Tony Finau. So it is a rare thing to do, and Redmond has done it 3 times. So does that mean he's going to be consistent? No, it doesn't. Does that mean he has a very high ceiling? Yes, of course it does. His ceiling is incredibly high, and when you're talking about a guy who's 140 to 1 to win the golf tournament, and you're looking at even his top 20 number being 5 to 1, that is something that is definitely attainable for Doc Redmond as he makes his first playoff appearance this week at the Northern Trust. Emiliano Grillo at 175 to 1 to win this golf tournament certainly counts as a deep sleeper. And I'm not usually a big fan of Grillo, which is kind of crazy because he is the epitome of team no putt, which I usually love. He is one of the better iron players. He's great off the tee. He just absolutely is one of the worst putters on tour, routinely ranking outside the top 200. But here is the kicker for this week at TPC Boston. Emiliano Grillo is second to only Justin Thomas in the last 4 years when it comes to strokes gained at TPC Boston. He has gained 1.9 strokes per round over his last 12 rounds here, including absolutely lighting up these putting greens to the tune of 0.62 strokes per round. That is an incredible rate for anybody. It's an incredible rate for Emiliano Grillo. So if there really is something to the course history, if you're a course history guy, if you are a team no putt guy, then Emiliano Grillo is your guy for this week at the Northern Trust. There you go. There's a few guys to consider deeper down the betting board for this week. There's certainly some long shots included in there. Let me know how right I am. Let me know how wrong I am. Tweet me at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Best of luck this week.